this computer. Carly, good to see you. Thanks for meeting with me. Really excited about sharing a little bit of what's going on in Young Life, but also just wanted to connect with you again. And we met, last month or something. And yeah, I wanted to hear how's that going? How's school going with your daughter now? You were telling me that it was a little bit challenging.
Yeah, it's awesome. She's really adjusting well, and her teacher is just like so kind and just like knows Royce well. So it's been such a blessing to have her there this year.
So we would do that for like maybe up to half an hour where I'd be asking lots of questions of Carly and what's going on with her. And then at some point I would say, oh, that's awesome. Now, I said I wanted to share some more what's going on with Young Life. And so this is something we have called our case, which just sort of gives a big picture of what is Young Life, what are we doing, what's our impact, how does it all work. And this is a picture of Dave Treadway. I know you're familiar with obviously that story. And so he really helped us kind of kickstart what we're doing here. And so it's behind his vision and hope that we continue. And he was great with kids, and we want more of that kind of activity of leaders who invest in kids' world, just the way that, people who knew Dave knew that that's what he was doing. And that's really what Young Life's about. I think, as you know, because right, you have cousins or something.
Yeah, I have family in Edmonton and Kelowna who both do Young Life, so I know a bit about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, this is our mission statement. Young Life is a Christian mission, loving teenagers in their world, encouraging them to know Jesus Christ. I think the piece I love about that is first, Young Life. It's a Christian mission. And it's a big one. Young Life's a huge organization. We're in 100 different countries. So Canada is just one of 100. And Young Life exists in a bunch of other communities. As we started in Golden, it already exists down in Cranbrook and in Armstrong and various places in the Okanagan and beyond. So, but we're excited about having it here so that we can have leaders who love kids in their world. And that really is kind of the hallmark of what Young Life is, that we go to where kids are and that we love them for who they are, right where they're at, in the time and space and part of life that they're at. And so that's what really is, I think, what's unique and awesome about Young Life. And then as we do that in the context of those relationships, we get to tell them about the Christian faith, about Jesus, and give kids a chance to actually have that conversation and explore it. And some, latch on and say, yeah, I'm in, I want. And they start following Jesus. Others don't, but we just continue to love those kids regardless. And so that's sort of the big essence of what we are and what your cousins have been about for a while. So inside here, it talks about sort of our need. And I would say, if I was to summarize what the need of Young Life is, that there's kids out there that, there's lots of good things going on. There's a lot of complex world going on. They're trying to figure out, but they're really trying to figure out, who am I? Do I matter in this world? And I think that's where that Young Life leader in their life can really communicate by showing up again and again, asking them and spending time with them, shows them that they matter, not just telling them, hey, you matter. And then eventually, as those kids get involved in Young Life, they get to hear about, and we get the chance, we've earned the right to tell them about a God who actually thinks they really matter. And that's a sort of simplifies that gospel message, just in that we get to tell them about God, his love for them. So that's the need, and that's what we're trying to accomplish with Young Life. I was talking about our connections. You can see even in just the interior region, so that's, BC, apart from the lower mainland, there's 2,500 teens impacting currently. There's 77 volunteer leaders and 15 different clubs. So the club we're trying to start here in Golden, maybe that'll be the 16th. If we're the next one. And then, it's a huge volunteerism thing. So lots of hours, if you think of those leaders, we ask our leaders and committee to put in, it's not just a 1 hour a week kind of thing, but hours and hours, especially the volunteer leaders, 10 hours a week is generally what I say would be your kind of minimum by the time you do our different C's, which is contact work. So that's being in the world of kids and club. I'm sure you've heard about that from your cousins. That's where we gather kids and have a lot of fun, adventure. They really sense belonging and laughter, and as well where we get to share our club talks, we call them, and talk about Jesus there. Campaigners do you know much about that?
No.
Okay,
no.
So that'd be the kids who either they've grown up in a Christian home or they become Christians through Young Life, and we give them a chance to say, okay, I want to explore more of this. And so exploring more of faith, but also saying, hey, you could be a part of the leadership team and sharing, and your school that you go to, you can have an impact on your school. And so it's sort of that growing and following Jesus, but also being a student leader. And that's what Campaigners is, sort of building into discipling those kids. And then, of course, camp. We've got our big camp, Rockridge Canyon, where we take kids to in the summer. We also do smaller camping where we'll just go have adventures with kids. Sometimes just getting out of town, getting out of your regular routine, that's where kids really get a chance to explore who are they, what can they become, and who's God in the midst of their lives. So we call those the 4 C's of Young Life. And this is just another picture of, this could be contact work. You get to know kids at the school or through some kind of place where kids congregate, and they do stuff with them. So it could be mountain biking. I don't do that kind of mountain biking myself, but some of our leaders in Golden certainly do. So that's what's going on. And all of this, it's an awesome thing. And part of what makes it happen, though, is the resources behind it. And so we have a budget that we have planned for this year. You can see here our budget is $14,785 for this year. Okay. The way our year goes is from October 1st to September 30th. So that's why the year crosses over too. And as most of our budget, as you can see, so most of it goes towards the program of it. Right. Some of the effort is to a little bit to the fundraising, and then just the management and the administration of the area of the Young Life ministry that we have. But most of it, as the money that we take in for Young Life, goes into the work that reaches kids. And you can see, our plan this year, that's our budget for this year. We're actually talking about increasing our budget really significantly next year. And so the idea is right now we're working as a volunteer area, so there's some expenses, but there's no staff person we're paying. Whereas next year, our vision and goal is to be able to hire a staff person maybe in the fall of 2020. And so that's why that budget jumps. So right now we're trying to raise at least what we can, at least our budget right now, but also more so that we can make that leap to the next level of having a staff person. So that's what we're working towards in that. And Young Life doesn't get money from anywhere else in terms of, it's all through donations of individuals mostly, but also sometimes churches and businesses. But 80% of the time it's from individuals. And, and people can give in lots of different ways. So it's a charitable organization. There's tax receipts and all that kind of thing. But we kind of have there's various methods like, checks, credit cards, etc. to give. However, we think about it in terms of, do they give regularly monthly or do they give one time? Got it. And so that's what you see in terms of, and this is what I, wanted to talk to you about, is that would you consider being one of our donors who support this work that, we're talking about and support reaching all these kids? And to think, I don't know what your guys' lifestyle is. And so for some people, I know for me, it really fits. I kind of make money monthly. If I give it monthly, I'm able to usually give more, because if any one-time donation, I probably can only give so much, but I can give a certain amount each year, and then it really starts to add up. So that's how I operate, and that's my life works that way. I know some business people, it's more lump sum in certain seasons, but I was hoping you would consider being one of these donors. You can see we have these various levels of donations. And with our relatively smaller budget right now, we don't have any needs for the huge donations. We're just trying to build a base of people who would support this. And I was wondering if you might see yourself on this list, maybe consider being one of those $50 or $100 a month donors. Yeah, well, I mean, like, our family tithes, and it's definitely something that I'd love to consider. That category, it's a bit high for me to just say yes to today, and so I'd love to take that back to my husband and see what he says as well. But yeah, we love what you guys are doing in Golden, and I want to say yes. And so I would love to take this back and ask what my family budget would fit. Awesome. Well, that's super encouraging. Thank you for considering it. And maybe this is yours, so you can take this back to your husband, share that
Yeah.
with him, Kyle, and as you talk it through, maybe I can follow up, kind of call you in a week
Yeah,
and check in with you and see where we're at with that.
absolutely.
Awesome.
Right on.
We'll also have this donor card that if you choose to, now it's in your hand. I don't
Right.
actually have the donor card right on me now, but it's in your hand. So if you choose to, then you've already got the paperwork to do it. We can also, you can do it online as well. And so when I follow up with you, I can give you those instructions if it's needed.
Awesome.
And thanks so much.
Very
Really
cool, yeah.
appreciate you considering this, and thanks for, even if you can just, as you know more about this, we'd ask that as other people are asking about Young Life, if you can be our advocate and cheering us
Totally, yeah.
on in that way, that would be awesome. And yeah,
Right
thanks
on.
so much.
All
Okay.
right. Well, thanks a ton.
Okay, see ya.
Bye.